Greetings, fellow commanders. Yonono speaking here, and today I'm going to show you how to use voice attack to control your music player while you're exploring the vast spaces of the galaxy, hunting down evil pirates or whatever you get up to in the endless universe of Elite Dangerous. Welcome to the Light Horse Brigade.
So, here we are in Gessi Dock, a military outpost for the Republic Party of LTT 305. We're inside the cockpit of my trusty Cobra, and I would like to demonstrate to you what I was talking about when I said voice control of a music player. Now, just the basics for everybody who knows voice attack, who has worked with voice attack, who's using voice attack. You might as well switch off right now, because this is not going to be of any interest for you. However, if you've just purchased voice attack, or generally don't really know what to do with it, maybe there are one or two things that are of use to you. Anyway, first of all, we've got to wake up my KI, which is of course based on a voice pack that I bought, and it's got the voice of a not so unknown Vulcan science officer on board of a Federation spaceship. Dark, wake up.
Initiating. Dark. Online.
So, let's launch, and I will then show you what I mean. Yes, that looks fairly nice.
Released. Engines engaged.
Departure handover.
Ascending to 30 meters. Retracting modules. Handing you the con.
So all of this happens automatically, which is also very, very nice. So, as you can hear in the background, there's no music playing. I've just deactivated the music in the main menu. The soundtrack to Elite Dangerous is fabulous. It's quite simply outstanding for a computer game, I think. However, if you've listened to it like 20 times or 100 times or, whatever, then you might find yourself wanting something quite different. So why don't we do it like this? Shall we listen to some music?
Accessing library. Standing by.
Dark has now opened the library, which in my case is nothing but the Winamp music player that I'm using. Why am I using Winamp, a piece of technology that's about 15 years old? I'm going to show you that later. Let me just say, the good thing about Winamp is it has global hotkeys, and those I can use in voice attack. So I can say something like, play the social network. Play the social network.
Performing now.
So I think you can hear the music now starting in the background. This is a playlist that I've generated, and which starts playing now. The first one is a bit boring, so let's just say next track. And the next track is a bit more upbeat, something that we like. Yeah. It's a bit too quiet, is it? Volume up 10%. And you can hear how the music gets louder. Volume up 10%. Yeah, disco. Volume down 10%. Volume down 10%. Volume down 10%. Now, I've set steps of 10%. You could also have 20%, 25%, whatever you want. And of course, let's imagine you've got an incoming call or something. All you have to say is, pause player. Pause player. And it just works like that. And if you want to restart the music, resume player. And that's pretty much it. I will now go down to the desktop and show you how this little piece of magic has worked. See you there. So here we are down at the desktop, and the first thing I would like to show you is Winamp. Winamp is a music player that's been around for ages. And why am I using such an old piece of software? Well, simply because it's very, very easy to handle. It's free, and it has the feature of allowing you to define global hotkeys. Now, global hotkeys are found in the Options Preferences menu here. There you can see it, global hotkeys. And what you should do is you go here, and for every command that you want to use, you define a hotkey. You could use the ones that are predefined as long as they don't collide with key bindings that you have in the game. Here's the first major problem, because FD are not exactly going out of their way to make it easy for you to somehow get an overview of the key bindings that you have. I know that there's a file where you can a config file where the key bindings are somewhere in there, but it takes ages to figure out because it's written in code, and it's like really not exactly useful. So a good idea is to try and find things that you haven't used in the game before, write them down, then come here and define these hotkeys accordingly. Once you've done that, you're good to go. For instance, I've got a playlist here. You can define a playlist by simply dragging files into this window and then save it as a playlist. Or sometimes you will have an album that will readily come with a playlist that you can use already. The nice thing is it doesn't really matter where the playlists are on your computer, because in the playlist the location of the actual music files are saved. So you can keep your playlist files in one directory, like I do. I can show you. If I go to open playlists, what's it doing now? Come on. Ah, yes, it is external hard drive, that's why. So I have got a directory especially for Elite here, playlists for Elite, where I keep playlists that I want to use in the game. Once you've done that, you've defined your hotkeys, you will have to go to VoiceAttack and make VoiceAttack understand which hotkeys to press when you say certain commands. So we're going to move Winamp to the side now. And we're going to go to VoiceAttack. Now, VoiceAttack, as you know, is, well, it's best if you get yourself a voice pack like I did. There are really great voice packs out there. I'm going to put a link in the description down below there to show you where I bought this VoiceAttack voice pack. And this is what the commands look like. Or actually, this is just an overview of all the commands that I have. Now, when you buy a voice pack like Dark, you get a sort of ready to use profile. I've changed it a lot, as you can see. For instance, these are the music player commands that I've defined. Let's start with something really basic. The music is already running and you want to skip to the next track. That's why I have a next track command. And if I go to the edit button here, this is how it works. All it does is executing the hotkey that is needed for Winamp to skip to the next track. That's as easy, as basic as it gets. You go to key press, you have to close this window, otherwise it won't work. Then you type in the hotkey that you want to use. I'm not going to do this now because I don't want to change mine. And then you press OK. You will see that the command is here. All you do is confirm by pressing OK. Done. So every time now you say next track, it will try to skip to the next track in Winamp. Same goes for pause player. All these commands are simple key press commands. Very, very easy, very, very basic. A bit more interesting is the one that I use to actually start Winamp. Because here we see how an application is run. You find this in other Windows run application, and then you just point to the application that you want to execute, and then it's playing two sounds to sort of give you the feel that the KI is actually reacting to your command. Now, an interesting thing is when you program something like this, make sure that you write down like 4 or 5 different phrasings of the same command, because you can then use all of them to execute this command and don't always have to say the same thing. If you're that type of person, some people like that, I don't. I always like to be able to say different things, so it makes it feel a bit more real. Now the most difficult command for me to figure out was the volume thing, because of course there's a hotkey to raise or lower the volume, and when you press it once, the volume will just go up by 1%. If you hold down the keys on the physical keyboard, it will continue to go up. So I thought, okay, I will give the key press command and add and change the time the keys are pressed down, which you can do here. You can do this for every key command that you have, for every key press. However, this didn't work. I don't know why. Maybe Winamp interprets the thing differently. I have no idea. It didn't work. So I was really puzzled for some time until I realized that you can repeat commands like this down here. So there are, I just did this and had it repeated for 5 times, and voila, it would raise the volume exactly by 5%, which is, you can see this in Winamp because it tells you how much percent you just went up. And you do the same thing for down, of course, different key combination. And if I want to go up 10%, what I did is I just defined something like this, volume down 10%, and you see that the command is repeated 10 times down here. Works like a charm. So do I want to discard changes? Yes, I want to, because I still need them. So basically that's it. Oh, one more thing. I forgot one thing. You might have noticed the reaction when I ask for a playlist. Now the playlist, I did something a little bit more fancy. When I call for a playlist, let's say this one, play All Saints. All Saints is a David Bowie album with instrumental music. What it does is, it actually doesn't do anything. It executes 2 other commands. First, it executes playlist All Saints. Now, playlist All Saints I'm going to show you in a moment. Playlist All Saints is nothing really important. Playlist All Saints is the command that will actually execute the playlist. I can show you now. It looks like this. There it is. So this is sort of like a mute command. It's not activated by saying anything, and all it does is it runs an application. And that's the good thing about M3U playlists. They work like applications. You can run them like any regular program. So this is what it does. And the other command is rs music. Now, this rs comes with the profile, the ready profile that is delivered with the sound pack. And that stands for random sound. What is that? Well, you don't want to always hear the same reply when you say something like this. If the KI always says, yes, sir, then after a while it gets very, very static and very boring. So what happens is it's playing a random sound. Now down here in random sounds, I have defined a random sound music. Now what happens? Now this looks really complicated, and it actually is. It's like a condition sequence. It's trying to figure out how many times something has been said already, and stores that in a variable that you can define here. I'm not going to get into that because it's too complicated right now. But it doesn't take much to figure it out. What it actually does is it makes sure that it will pick 1 of 4 sounds to come back. So it's not exactly that random. It just chooses 1 of 4 sounds. However, you could, if you have more sounds that you want to use, you can make that 10 or 20 sounds, no problem. All right. And I think that is all that you need to know. For every playlist that I have, all that I have to do is define 1 command like this, and then 1 spoken command like that. And this is very easily done if you remember that when you have a command like this, all you got to do is right click on it and go to duplicate, and then you just have to change the parameters. So let's say I make a new playlist that's called classical music, all I have to do is define a new playlist in the other command that's called classical music and put this here and save it, and that's all. All right, that should do it. That's my little take on how to use voice attack to control a music player. And just to water your mouth a little bit, you can also do this for TeamSpeak. I found out that TeamSpeak supports global hotkeys as well. And for anyone who's been in combat before in Elite Dangerous, being able to mute TeamSpeak or to finish TeamSpeak altogether is a very, very good thing to have. So if you're really interested, leave me a comment down below and I can do another video on explaining how to do that. I'd be very happy if you give me a little like for the video. And with that, Commander Yolono for the Light Horse Brigade, logging out. See you in space. Fly safe, Commanders.